Moving on to the next session, we have Dr. Shyamala who is an accomplished musicologist and professional vocalist with wide experience in performing and teaching music for students in India, Middle East, and several other countries through online classes. She is a proficient voxologist offering voice therapy and voice culture training to several top-ranking vocalists of various vocal styles. Dr. Shyamala is the director of Sri Rajashamala School of Music, Chennai, faculty of the Department of Voxology at the University of Silicon Andhra, California. She is a visiting faculty in the Department of Indian Music, University of Madras, and she has been training senior vocalists and students of music under a certified course by the University of Madras. She holds a PhD degree in the topic A Comparative Study of Arabic Maqamat and South Indian Classical Ragas, which is unique and first of its kind in the world that compares the structure and all scales of two different classical music systems. Dr. Shyamala is a much sought after voice culture therapist and specialist by eminent professionals in the field like Srimati Sudha Raghunathan, Ramakrishna Murthy, Amrita Murali, R.K. Sriram Kumar and many others. She has trained several successful and popular musicians in the field of both classical and live music. Several students have emerged victorious in various reality shows and popular TV channels, benefiting from her training and methodologies. Today, Dr. Shyamala will be presenting her lecture on two different topics: Carnatic music and Arabic music, and overview and voice culture in film music. Over to you, ma'am.
I'm very thankful to you, Deepa. So, we are going to discuss rather. Okay, I don't want to just stand here and lecture to you. Let's have an interactive session. Okay, both the topics, especially the singers here. So, we are going to look at some of the most important basic elements of a style, a classical vocal style, which we are not very familiar with at all. Anybody has any idea about Arabic classical music? Maybe two words? Anything that you know, you could please share. Some of you have come here from the Gulf, right? Not for the occasion, but otherwise your past has been in the Gulf. Have you ever heard anything even remotely close to Arabic music? Okay. What was striking? So, in whatever you heard, there must have been something that struck somewhere in your mind, something very different. Sadness, very intricate, okay. Yes, very good. Pardon me?
Microtones dominate.
Yes, microtones, quarter-tones, which we don't use in our Indian system as swaras. So the intervals between the semitones predominantly used in Indian music are sung as swaras. So, our music is qualified on semitones. No expression on my singer friends. But Arabic music is based on quarter tones. That's the very first statement we have to understand. Okay? So now we're getting to the topic, but straight away, going into the structural elements of Arabic music, or the embellishments or the extemporization, all that will make no sense if you do not understand the background against which the style has developed. It's very important for you to know that. So we have tried to organize the content by giving you, with an aim to give you the best of an over. The best of an over. Alright? So we are going to talk about the background, the historical, the political and cultural background against which the style has evolved. Okay? So shall we go into given the time? Oh. Okay, please. So we are going to look at the pre-Islamic period, which is before 622 AD. It was called the period of ignorance. So ignorant of many aspects. We are not talking about music here. That period by itself, historically, was called the period of Jahiliyyah or ignorance. Okay? So there was a confusion in the religious front, the political and the cultural front too. And so why? Why was the situation there? Because the Arabic people at that point of time were mainly tribal people. They were not very, very civilized like people of the other parts of the world. Here we are not talking about some people misunderstand this region of the world as Greek, Rome. No, not at all. They were highly civilized Egyptians. We are talking about an Arab world which were mainly nomadic. They were troops moving from one place to other. I am talking about 622 AD, the period of Jahiliyyah or ignorance. So they were not in a position to develop, preserve and enhance any classical style of any art, not only music. So that is why the period, in particular for music, called also a period of Jahiliyyah. Since we are talking in terms of music, okay? So before 622 AD, the period of ignorance, nomadic groups moving from one place to other, gathering whatever they understand from the places they come across. Okay? Which is gathering everything from the culture of that group, that area, nothing very civilized or scientific. So this is the background. Then comes the period of development. Okay? So why do we call the period of development? With reference to music. Because that is a period when music started to be used, vocal music with minimum orchestration started to be used as an entertainment for warriors. Because they are going about, waging wars and taking hold of different tribes, losing wars, getting hold of places, and they're just moving and moving and moving. Not at all stagnant in one place. Okay, so that is the time music is being just begun to be used as an entertainment for warriors, soldiers. Okay, so it is only for pleasure of the ear and the eyes, because dance was also part of the music. So that period is called Manahi, which can be translated to forbidden pleasures, because it is only for entertainment. Music is only for entertainment. And why is it called forbidden? We'll see that a little later. So that period was called as forbidden pleasures or Malahi, because music was used for a particular purpose, which later on came to be termed as forbidden because it stops one from progressing in the spiritual life. We'll see that in detail later on. The next period is period of conservation. By the time the period of development moved on to the period of conservation, which is around the 12th, 13th, 14th to the 16th century. So what is happening before 622 AD we just saw. After 622 AD, I thought one of you would ask me what happened. Islamic advent, Umayyad dynasty and the advent of Islam. We need to see only that much, okay, about that. Because there is nothing religious about it. That is a period of development, and now we are coming to the period of said music is very important for our prayers. So the religion has two factions. One faction says music is not for spiritual growth, but the hardcore religious people said that music is very important for prayer, and the muezzin, the one who calls out the prayer azan, has to be qualified in the basic classical rules, which was just getting formed that time. We need to have some rules, and within the rules, the muezzin has to sing the call to prayer. So the same religion, one faction says music is bad, the other faction says even the most important priest has to know the basic rules of classical music. Classical music is just getting formed. Okay? I hope you got a picture now, because the music so far has never been developing or taking form in isolation. It was just all over the place. And during the period of conservation, somewhere, some people thought we have to bring it down to classicism, bring in classical element. So we set some rules, and it has to come from the religious period. Okay? Now, modern period, which is from end of 19th century, a renaissance took place with regard to all art forms, including sculpture, music mainly, and Egypt became a pioneer in that. So much so, today Egyptian classical music is synonymous with Arabic classical music. It's the same. If you see Arabic classical music, it is Egyptian classical music. So like Chennai, the seat of music, today Egypt is the seat of Arabic classical music. So that period is called the Renaissance or Nahda. So, to embark on that phase where most of them came together, all the religious heads came together to preserve certain elements that were codified as classicism, classical rules, and the Conservatory of Egypt was established in Cairo. This is just for you to know the movement from 622 AD to the present. Okay, so now the present Arab world is the largest area on earth which has the same religion, which speaks the same language. So any development, culture, artistry, prose, poetry, has to be understood against that background. The same language, same religion. Note, musical sound, which we call swara, is known as nagma. Nagma in Arabic, Persian also. Sometimes swaras in Greek modes are also called nagmaya, plural nagma. Let's look at the octave of Arabic music. So, what do we have in the octave? In an octave, what do we have? 12 first colors, the 12 semitones. Can we define an octave? Like that? An octave has got 12 semitones. So, looking at our music, what do we say? We have 7 building blocks which are further subdivided into 12 building blocks, and then we furnish them combined. Isn't this how we look at our structural elements? So now we are going to look at the structural elements of Arabic music. So we have to start with the octave. So we always relate to one octave, but their gamut is based on 48 swaras, 2 octaves. So when we say 2 octaves, don't think that it is 24 swaras repeating. No. Frequency wise it is repeating, but each of them has a different name. That's how it is. Yeah. So in an octave they have 24 swaras. So we can even think of the 24 Shrutis mentioned in Veladhikara Lakshana. We can, but they are Shrutis. Here we are talking about swaras. The singers are capable, they are very efficient, they can stand on each microtone and sustain. Swaras, okay, 24 swaras in an octave. But they look at the whole structure as 48 quarter tones from the lower power of the universal C. Lower power of universal C to the higher part. So this is the space they look at. So when you start learning music, we have to learn to stand on each note in Akara, all the 48 spaces, which is very difficult because we are not used to quarter tones, not at all. So these 48 quarter tones, that's why I put it there, 24 quarter tones, 2 octaves, 48 quarter tones. All notes below C, the octave of C. So let's call it our Adhara Shajja. Below that, all the notes, all the microtones below that, 12 of them, is called Khara. Mantrastari, Khara. And all the 12 quarter tones above the Tarasa of C is called Gaba. So all the notes are called in the lower octave, Kara, Busali, Kara, like that. And Mele, Gaba, Busali, the Gaba. Simple. Trying to give you maximum in the limited time. So, Sa is equivalent to Ras, Pa is Nava, and our Tarasa is Kirdan. So we say Shajja, Adhara Shajja and Tara Shajja. But here it takes a different name. Ras, Nava and Kirdan. Now we are going to see the structure. So we are very familiar with terms like Purvanga, Uttaranga. And we have the concept of one Purvanga combining with 6 possibilities of Uttaranga. And like that, of course, we have 6 Purvangas combining with the same 6 Uttaranga. And Ma being the major difference of the first possibility and the second possibility of permutation and combination. They also have tetrachords. Okay? Purvanga. A tetrachord is nothing but 4 swaras and 3 intervals. There is no open interval. An interval can happen only with boundaries. So, tetrachords, combination, permuting and combining the available tetrachords is how they end up in scales, musical scales, just like ours. And the tetrachord is called James. Okay? So we do definitely have some the combinations, Ragi, Yoga, Ego. I'm sure you all know that. I'm not going into detail of that. Just like that, they have 5 major tetrachords. And if you see the numbers there, 4, 4, 2. I told you 3 intervals, 4 swaras and 3 intervals. So, first interval 4, second interval 4. 4 means tone, full tone. Tone, semitone. So that is very much used here because we use semitones and tones, right? So that is, you can compare that directly draw parallels to Indian music. Second one, 4 to 6. Tone, semitone, 1.5 tones. You see the third, fourth and fifth, they have quarter tones. 3, 4, 4, 3, 4, 2, 3, 3, 2. So this combining with each other, permuting and combining just like ours, we have a Purvanga, Uttarangas, and then we do have families like our Chakra. Very interesting, right? And the Ma1 or Ma2 also creates an interval, right, which connects the Purvanga and Uttaranga. Can we have a smile from you? Unfortunately, Dr. Devika was coming. She was talking, not unfortunately, she was talking. I don't have a sutradhara mentioned by Dr. Devika to hold your attention. So please, if you go to sleep, it's a very difficult thing to understand. It's totally new to you and there is no glamour of a picture. So please be with me. That interval is called Bau Mukhamal, separately addressed, just like our Ma1 and Ma2. Very important, right? Okay. So at this point, I want to tell you, so the end of the study, of this comparative study, what we understood was, there has been definitely a cultural exchange from the subcontinent of India to the Arab world. There has been a definite exchange of everything in the culture, from our cuisine, to dance, to music, to everything. Because the next information also will tell you that there is a lot of parallels to be drawn to that stage, until that stage. And we're talking about 622 AD onwards, the evolution or the awareness they had to move to what they are today. Whereas we were far beyond that at that time. Yes? Yes. Thank you. So, straight away, I have cut short. A lot of other details in between, but it will be too much for you. You have indigestion and I can't begin. Makha means raga, musical scale. The plural is makhamat, makamat. Okay? 80. Asli, assal, we say no assal, pure. Asli means melodana. Asliya is plural. So that is major plural, major class. Asli, yeah, asli. The Jadi Raga is called Farah, plural is Faraya. Okay? So this much we have. All the major ragas and the derivative ragas or makamat take 7 notes below. From here, the deviations start. Because they have too many building blocks, right? They have too many building blocks in hand. They have to employ them. They have to use them. So, their Fara or Fariya also have 7 intervals. So, the Ashtakatwa also they have, but what they use in between would be microtones. Okay? And the deficient scales will also be complete, Sampurna. So, our Audava, Shadava, all those ragas are called deficient scales. They call it deficient and they are very shocked. How can you sing music? How can you sing ragas with such, all semitone huge jumps, no? But the best part of it, my guru is known, Dr. Muhammad Yaqub. He used Mohana for 8 bars. He was a conductor of the Royal Orchestra in Oman. He was reporting to the Sultan directly, Sultan Qaboos, who is no more. So he used, during a National Day function, he used Mohanam for 8 bars in between the music that he composed. That's the honor he gave Indian music because he felt also someone was come to compare. So he said, this is what I can do for you. Because according to them, music, some of them think music is Malahi and deficient scales are Malahi. You understood? In spite of it, he used. I felt very happy. Besides the point. So why I mentioned the word deficient scales, this is how they look at our music. In Indian music, predominantly, most of the important melodies in Indian music are deficient. In number of the building blocks, not in melody, not in scope. Extemporization is very much there in Arab music also, somewhat similar to our elements of improvisation, like mirable, somewhat. We can't say they're directly equivalent, but definitely there. It is like you start on a scale, and how much can you roam about using all the 24 microtones and then come back to the original scale. Something like a semitonal Sindhu Bhairavi. Imagine a microtonal Sindhu Bhairavi. It's like that for them. Okay? Then notation. Can you guess? My dears, I have a request for you. We should come out of the basket of Carnatic music and just go up, have an evening, you read a lot of other styles.
No notation.
Very,
No notation.
they have a notation, but they follow Western notation.
Yeah.
Because adapted Western notation, they don't have solfa syllables. So they do have, but not one of their own. They have adapted the Western notation.
Like the Chinese also.
Chinese also, yes. So that is how it is very, yes please.
Comparatively to those 40 tones, they use 48 and what they convert is Western notes.
I'm not able to hear you.
Western notation.
Ah.
You are able to adapt it to all these 48 40
They have created more symbols. Literally looks like a drawing. And it's very easy to sing from a notation because they don't manipulate or operate upon the intervals like we do. Because they don't have wide intervals. It's all fixed. And it's all used up because of the notes. They have small, yeah. Tara is a very important branch of Arabic classical music. It's called Ikha. And it's like this. In all the families, in each and every family will have one of them who's very good at percussion by just clapping. I'm sure these are your seniors, that you will see.
And it will be intermittent also.
Yes.
You know, and one will be in one tala, the other will be half tala.
Half tala. So each of them, the gadis are there, they call it gate. Even in Arabic and English, word gate is used. And let's say there is a group of 10 of them are there, and 2 of them will be on Tishra, 2 others on Chatusha, and the entire 1.5 hours percussion concert will be only clapping. It's beautiful to listen. They are experts, like the African percussion. Experts, unbelievable. On the beach, if you see during Fridays and Thursdays, their weekend, this is the main pastime for them. Beautiful to listen to, you will be amazed. So they are very strong in the, field of tala. With hands and most of them are trained, even young boys, I've seen them, they just call them, come join. And they just join, they understand that. Very, very, very bright in that area. So Ankas, like us, they also had gesturing of tala, actioning it out. So we have learned it now. We have come down to that from a more intense actioning of tala because of user-friendly aspect. Right now, they have also had, but right now, like in the Hindustani music, it is the Egyptian tabla or the rek, percussion instrument, which direct them as to the sound, to the finishing of the cycle, all that. So there is no hand movements or gestures anymore. We are going to see the embellishments. So can you just in 2 sentences talk about what is our embellishment? Gamakas. And of course, going deeper to the science, we see Paichita Gamakas. Those which are predominantly pertaining to instrumental, then to vocal. So we have a very defined science. Here, there are 3 important applications which they call as decorations. or limitations. Our Briga, they call that as trills, but they are even more minute than the Brigas, because our Brigas are semitones or tones, semitones, everybody can do a Briga. They do the Briga on quarter as fine as that, just like their architecture, their jewelry. Have you ever noticed the Persian architecture? I'm sure when you go to the north, you have to pay attention to the details. The jewelry, some of the work on Kashmiri and Pashmina was very, very, very minute. So all that came to us because of Persian invasion, Persia, Arab. So trills, a lot of glide, all that little glides with minute trills, short and long and sustained. Then we have spot jogging. I'm sure you have, because nowadays, not nowadays, the last 10 years, I think a lot of film music, they bring in Arab style. That is popular Arab styles. Have you heard of that? Yeah,
recently also I heard.
yeah.
And especially the beat,
The tala music. They use the Egyptian tabla. Yeah. I'm sure you've heard it. I shall do a little bit of demonstration with whatever voice stamina I have. This one more session. So the spot jogging is more famous. I'm sure you have heard those. Because of the microtonal arrangement of notes spread over two objects. This way 1.5 and that way 1.5. That's what we get to. Beyond this, it's not possible. But we have to talk about the voice of Arabic singers. We have to learn a lot from them. 2 to 3 years, the students learn to sustain all the microtones. No Jandavishay, Alankara, even if the vocalist is proficient in 1 year, they can't jump to compositions. No way. 3 years the time they give you. Then, after we understand, for us it is very difficult, for them it is easy because they habituate themselves by the ear, right? Their culture. Even they have to do this for 3 years and then they learn to tune the qanun, a trapeze-shaped, non-fretted string instrument of 84 strings. They learn to tune that. That is if you are passionate about music. By then some of us will lose our interest. Then they are taught compositions. But here we don't give importance to voice refinement at all. Very sorry to make this statement. It's a government statement. We have to make that statement. We have to open our eyes and ears to this fact. We are learning compositions, understanding ragas, very good. It's a beautiful science, very intense science, which can actually help us understand any other classical style in the world. But if we have decided to take our music through our voice, then I think voice should get the priority. To define the voice, to maintain the voice, to sustain the voice, and use it beautifully, keep up the responsibility we have towards the audience, and not say, please listen to my signs when I don't stay on pitch. You will never see such a singer there, never listen. Okay. Open my eyes and ears too in my late 20s. So, there were questions asked. What do you get by comparing the two styles? One is, you can simply say, I understood. Another the so-called, not ancient, medieval style. It's also a very deep classical style. Beyond that, I would like to say that led me to voxology. I understood voice better and better and better. And today, I'm able to work on the voices, most successful voices, out of interest, not because I'm especially acute. God blessed me to understand Arabic. That is the reason. That is the outcome of the work. Honestly, I'm telling you, I realized how it should go to my guru. Please clap for him. He's very a great man, 3 doctorates in Arabic music, Western and Chinese, and he developed a course interdisciplinary between animated department, Al-Nada, Hospital and the music department. He patented the course. The department is not there in Kabul University anymore. He went back to Cairo, this is the dean of music there, and of course he is no more. A very elaborate course, so deep that we had to undergo training to diagnose by the year, all that. You know, it is not just a course. So that's why we don't call it culturing of voice. Culturing of voice is a very generalized term. The moment therapy comes, it's one-to-one. So that is the greatest outcome of my 7 years, best part of my youth, with Arabic music and Dr. Mohammed. It was very difficult to get, information from written sources because all of them were in Arabic. So sir had to read out to me, translate that. It was very difficult. And I must mention Dr. Ramanathan sir. I gave up many times. But Ramanathan sir said, no, you are finishing it. That's all. I would go crying to him, he would go through my work. Because he was my guide for MPhil. So he would say, you are not giving up, you don't have an option. Also Vani Jana Mama, my parents. No way I could give up. There was no way I could take a decision. But today, I'm so grateful to all of them. So I'm not deviating, but I just wanted to mention this about reiterating the point that we are neglecting the importance of voice in our system. Science is very important and very profound, developed. Science we have, but the vehicle that we use to take it out, the voice, is not prioritized at all. I feel we should spend a little more time during our basic lessons on understanding our voice. The teacher has to help the student to discover his or her voice. Because voice is working on the formula of ability and demand, which is unique to each body. Okay? Which is done in Arabic music. The pitch of the singer is identified and the singer is singing only in that pitch, whether it is G sharp or A sharp or C sharp. There is no way saying the accompaniments will not be available for you if you sing in a high pitch. No, nothing like that. It is not a style where a particular space is associated with the style, whether it is a male voice or a female voice. Okay? Okay, now we are going to see the concert scene. Kacheri. Kacheri is called Vasla. Vasla. Okay? Now, unlike our scene, we have a larger orchestra which is called the takat. The takat, which has a rek, a percussion instrument, which is like our gajira, the violin, the flute, which is called nail, the Egyptian flute, the oud. Have you seen the oud? It's a string instrument. Kanun, the trapeze-shaped non-fretted instrument. Okay? And they all have the role of a tanya avartanam. in a concert, which is called Takasu. The concert starts with Takasu, unlike ours. Okay, so the orchestra is called Takatu. The major instruments are rec, violin, veni, oud and kano. They all have their roles of Taniyavathanam, which is called Takasan. And then the solo singer starts singing with the help of the choir, which is called Sangeeta. So most of our ancient styles, whether Indian or otherwise, Dr. Devika was mentioning, the choir, they are still at that stage. We also had that, right? But then we move forward. So this is where you have to connect the time period. We have moved forward from there. So with the help of Sangeeta, the solo singer starts singing after the introduction. So all this is a predetermined piece. There is no improvisation. Then the singer starts like a raga alapana layali, which is improvised singing with no syllables. But they use a lot of oo. Then they start with, probably we can very roughly equate to varna, which is called the muvasha, to warm up the voice. And then they go to the kasida, maybe kriti, like that. So this is the concert scene. So there is no solo singer as such. There is one main singer with a lot of people giving vocal support. All of them do predetermined music, choir. But the solo singer does improvisation. Okay? Thank you. With your permission, I should sing 4 lines. Okay, let me talk about the sound thing. Just like our one. Maybe 4 lines, 3 lines for about 2 hours. But Varnam also is a predetermined composition. There the improvisation, everything is done with these few words. Very good. I am so many years now, but I will try and sing something which is supposed to be in a makam, which is very, very close to Makula. You will never hear Makula. Okay. So may I have Asia, please? Everyone give me Asia.
I spoke to you in Arabic.
Yes, yes. It's not that easy, for example. There's like 40 names are there. So, the C on the Aadhara Shajja, the key is the Kara, so and so. Kara, this is Karamari. Male is Gava, that number. And the solfa syllables Karayade, Sarigama, Karayade, Akari Kritam. They are very, very particular about the R coming from throat. Pit of the throat.
Excuse me. We were talking about they have only taken the syllables from westerns. Yeah, and the Sarigama and
For notation, see?
yeah, I'm talking about the notation also. Why couldn't they take Arabic syllables for that? Was there any difficulty?
Yes, because there has always been a conflict. Even now, there is a little bit with regard to music, notation. Because whether to keep Urdu or the proper Arabic, because see, Arab music is now mainly practiced in Egypt, but it is also taken further. They have spread like Tunisia, Lebanon, Libya, Turkey, all places. They have their own variations of slight differences in script while writing the lyrics, especially poetry. They still have. So which one to use for notation? And also they are huge letters. Sometimes they are larger in size. So to bring in all the symbols of notation, they have adapted. Because right now, even the classical Vasla is heavily westernized. They even have a guitar and all that.
What's some mixing in Arabic? For example, there is no ba.
Yeah.
It's all ba.
Bas. This is like our Tamil, So one letter stands for several songs.
Yeah, even G is called G, Z. In Arabic. In Arabic there is no G, it is only G. I am always being called as Gita, not G.
We have syllables. Sarigama Parnisa. What is it in Arabic?
I will just discuss that we don't have. It's only Akara. They know this one is Kanams in Akara. So it's 3 years.
No, what is the basic error? What is the exercises they do? Something, some sound.
Yeah. Trills, mainly trills. So 4 shrutis at a time, 5 shrutis at a time. I'm calling them shrutis. There's one else. And then sustenance, glidings. Like the main of Hindustani music does come from Persian influence. That is, sorry, even for voice culture, right? This is semitone. I'll come to you after. Yes. Yeah, that's a very, so as we told you, it is adapted notation. The 5 lines, the start lines, intermediate symbols are used to show the marks. Same here. Same. Very interesting. Yes, they have. So, that's what, in the 19th century, Egypt, some of the great musicians of the time, they took the responsibility of collecting information from the different, up to Spain it was there, the same style, but with different variations. Because as I told you, they were all nomadic, more folklore, and from there, like how Anandabari came here. It's actually from a folklore. But we have now codified that as under this ragam, the line. Yeah. From folklore they codified. And then they said, okay, it is under this. Other than literally, under this pararaga, families like chakra.
So they have documented the whole evolution.
Yes. It is all very Egypt conservative. Okay. Helwan University is like whenever I get an opportunity, I do some of my jobs.
You said seek field like
Up to far.
But all of them sing in C, yeah, there are pitch variations, then how
Yeah.
can you?
Yeah, so they cannot sing on C. Those singers who are capable of singing below C will take up only that space, from that space, that is lower. So, entirely connected to Adara Shajja, they will reach to that point, like the way we evolved to that. So, something like a Grahabedam, like a Western music style. So, that is why they could adapt Western notation. Yeah, so if you relate directly to our octave, it's 24. No, they still have the tetrachord, but they have tetrachods building up from microtones. So we believe in complete scales. 8. The character of Ashtakatva, they have that. And 7 swaras. But when they move around, that's why I use the word simplifying. They can show anything. But the basic structure of the musical mode or makam is 7 intervals. Their tetrachord is equivalent to our tetrachord.
Can you demonstrate everyone?
Which one?
One to understand.
Rasta. The what the sequence? Here the book has I said the interval is ma 1. Ma pa da ni sa. This is Rasta. The ga was different. It was a microtone. If you hear that correctly, this is called rust. And about rust, rust is considered as a very auspicious, I can use the word auspicious makam, like our Mangala Ragam, in which the azan is sung in Egypt. In Egypt, here whatever you hear as azan is,
Can you sing the azan?
I'm not allowed to. Women are not allowed. For my Viva was in Oman, they took special permission. What to do? I can do that for you there in the department. That's it.
So we switch off the camera.
I'm not allowed to. I'm very worried because of
This is again a part of our department, isn't it?
That room is also part of our department.
Madam, determining your pitch and singing at your pitch, the position is changed with respect to images. So, பார்த்தீங்கன்னா இந்த முத்ரா புக்கில் ஒரு ஆர்டிஸ்ட் பேர் போடுறாங்க லாஸ்ட் இது வந்து அந்த இன்வெஸ்ட் மீன். ஸோ தட் இம்ப்ரூவ்மெண்ட் has come.
thank God.
That improvement has come.
Yes, thank God. Which is a basic.
I don't think that is to our music it is fine, but for them it doesn't make
They are allowed to sing in the shuri which is
convenient.
comfortable for them.
No, but the context is different, so it doesn't matter.
For instance, Devi Sriram sings only at 3 years.
D sharp.
So that is sure. அதெல்லாம் பாட வேண்டும்.
Fortunately, it falls within the compass of the male voice, so she has the accompaniments for that, like the Mridangam. But if a female singer who wants to sing in Asia, Mridangam ஏடாதுன்னு சொல்றதுனால she ends up accompanying Mridangam. அவ பிடிச்ச பாட்டு.
Okay, shall we move on to the next topic?
Exactly. Independent notes. Independent notes. Yes. No, See, do re mi fa. Indeed. No, no. Their improvisation or extemporization does not have kalpanisvara. They don't have that. They have layali, alapta, neravu they have, but not that. And of course, improvisation on talam.
We move to the next.